Hello ratbags, it's Jade. Welcome to a ARK news video. Quick brief one for me today. ARK Gen 2 has been delayed. You probably have seen it already in the news if you're following on Twitter, or you're following some good people like Raz Clark, who's going to give you always the best, pretty much daily ARK news. Go and check his channel out. But of course I'm going to cover it because there's definitely some of you guys that may not be subscribed to him, or you may not have seen the news. But yeah, Gen 2 has been delayed. It was meant to come out in March, and they've just announced that it's not going to be happening now until May the 26th. Now, normally I would be all over this in saying how crap Wildcard are, because that's a personal opinion. Regardless of the release date, they are just a horrific company sometimes. That said, I can understand some of the issues that may have affected why this particular DLC is going to be another 3 months late. In fact, if you take into account it was meant to come out at the end of 2020, then yeah, it's going to be 5 months late. That's a pretty big time. Also, they've stated that because this is the last DLC for the original game, there's going to be no more proper content added to ARK other than maybe events and upkeep updates before the next generation of ARK comes in ARK 2 next year. They wanted to go out with a bang, and so they decided to take some extra time to make sure that happens. So we'll have to see if it lives up to that kind of hype. So they've said their humble apologies, yada yada yada, heard it all before. Pretty much every single one of their DLCs they've ever attempted has always been late, either put back multiple times. It's pretty shocking really. But in this instance, the pandemic definitely didn't help things. They've been working remotely since the beginning of last year. And as they wanted to work out how to finish off the ARK saga from a narrative, cinematic and endgame wise perspective. Now obviously the new one, the Voidwyrm, is pretty much just a tech wyvern. This has been something that's been around for a long time that we thought we might have. And everyone assumed it would be some sort of saddle, as it does kind of look like a saddle for a lot of them. But it does look like they've fully transitioned it now. Obviously revamped it and just made the wyverns completely tech or bionic. So yeah, they're cool, ain't gonna lie, they look good. Does look like there's maybe a little bit of organics going on there though. This tail definitely looks a little bit more normal. And the wings here look like they're infused with some sort of tech power. So it could be interesting. So they've also gone on to say that this map is going to have 2 big changes. The whole map is going to be open and livable. No one liked teleporting. I didn't think it was that bad. The main benefit being, of course, hopefully it was going to save on performance and meant that your bases would load in properly and you wouldn't have loads of lag. But nevertheless, it still kind of hurt the immersion. They're also going to reduce the no build zones. That was one thing that did piss people off. Not being able to build pretty much large places on the last map. That's going to be avoided as much as possible. And they've said structures, items and creatures have been designed to assist and improve gameplay and quality of life for all of our players and designed to expand the meta in meaningful ways. Now that's a pretty interesting comment considering it's still paid DLC. Yes, you can spawn this stuff in even if you don't own it, but if you play on official servers you will have to actually pony up for it unless you can do some trades with other players. Let me know whether or not you knew this was coming. I knew it was coming, I think we all did. They left it so late yet again. I think that's one of the other issues I have with Wildcard. They just leave it so late. There's no way they got to the beginning of February and decided, you know what, we might just need a few little bit more time to actually get this done. Since they've delayed it by another 2 months, that's a huge amount of time. They could have told people a lot earlier than they did. So if you're expecting ARK Gen 2 to launch in March, forget about it. I ain't gonna lie, May is a really poor date. I'm glad it's kind of the end of the month. In fact, it's nearly June when you think about it. This also puts to bed any stupid rumours from loaded clickbait that we're going to get another free map. We are not going to get any more content, significant content for ARK 1, guys. This will be the last proper DLC you will play until ARK 2. And let's face it, that's the real reason this DLC has been delayed. They've pulled members of their team off and they're all working on the next sequel, with probably only a small skeleton crew actually fleshing out this DLC. But yeah, don't expect any free map. I know there's loads of bullshit going around saying that this map's going to be free. There's no way they're launching this at the end of May and they're going to be able to do a free map as well. It just doesn't make sense. They kind of want players to now start getting a bit bored, a bit fed up of playing on the original, so that they will move over to the sequel. But yeah, on a personal level, I'm kind of glad. I haven't been playing ARK that much. I've not been covering it that much unless there's big news. mainly because it has just been dead and dry. And there's so many other great games at the moment that I'm really enjoying. So I'm kind of pleased. Gives me a bit more time in March to carry on working on other stuff like Valheim. And fingers crossed come May, well, hopefully it fits in nicely with some of the other stuff I've got coming. But let me know, disappointed, expected? What are your thoughts on another delay for the final DLC for ARK Survival Evolved? Until next time, Ratbags, laters.